Hey, good evening. So we're going to do the first session on Cleopatra. Cleopatra the seventh. She's probably the most famous female ruler in history. And her rise and fall were dictated by the ruthless shifting of the Mediterranean political landscapes. She was not only a beauty, but she was also brilliant and a savvy political survivor. So wanted to mention first, I wanted to first talk about the climate in which the political climate that she got into. She was born in 69 BCE in Egypt, uh, and as it was a shadow of its former self. So, what the background was, Rome was undisputed superpower at that time. Egypt was independent only because it paid massive bribes to Roman generals. And then the Ptolemies were notorious for internal fighting. To keep power uh, pure, they practiced sibling marriage, but they also frequently murdered to one another to seize the throne. And then also there were high taxes and famine that led to the frequent revolts among native Egyptian population against the Greek-speaking rulers. Her ascension to power and why she became a leader was, first of all, she ascended to power in 51 BCE following the death of her father. Ptolemy the eighth, according to his will, he bequeathed her to her younger brother. And so first she was in exile and returned, and then her brother's advisors quickly ousted her, forcing her into exile. And then she realized she couldn't win Egypt back alone. When Julius Caesar arrived in Alexandria chasing her rival Pompey, Cleopatra famously snuck into the palace. Legends say rolled in the carpet to meet him. So Caesar was charmed by her intellect and status. He defeated her brother's enemies in the Battle of the Nile, officially installing Cleopatra as the dominant ruler of Egypt. So she reigned for 21 years, from 51 BCE to 30 BCE. She was remarkably popular with the native Egyptian people for several reasons, right? The first one, unlike all the past rulers, who only spoke Greek, she was the first and only of her dynasty to learn the Egyptian language. She presented herself as a living reincarnation of goddess Isis. And then she managed the Nile irrigation systems effectively and kept the grains flowing, preventing the widespread famines that had plagued her father's reign. So that's how she kept herself in power. And her downfall is that she made the gamble with the wrong side. Cleopatra aligned herself with Mark Antony, one of the three men ruling Rome. They became both romantic and political partners, intending to rule the East together. So Octavian, who was going to be the future Emperor Augustus, used Cleopatra as a propaganda tool. He convinced the Roman Senate that Antony was a traitor bewitched by an Egyptian queen who wanted to rule Rome. So in 31 BCE, the forces of Octavia defeated Antony and Cleopatra at the Battle of Actium. Fleeing back to Alexandria, Antony committed suicide after receiving a false report that Cleopatra was dead. Realizing Octavian intended to parade her through Rome as a prisoner, Cleopatra chose to end her own life through suicide, allegedly via a bite of an venomous cobra. With her death, The 3,000-year history of pharaohs ended, and Egypt became a mere province in the Roman Empire. So that is how Cleopatra was. Do you see the parallels of like how great and how long she served, and all the political maneuvering she did, marrying somebody in her family, marrying the leaders that she saw that she could stay in power. Also, like you see, like when she stayed in power was because of economics too. She learned how to irrigate and do all that stuff and help the people of Egypt. And the saddest part with Cleopatra's death, as I mentioned there at the end, that was the end of the Egyptian pharaoh dynasty. And just to know how leaders are so effective and how they can make a civilization move and move on, and how they can kill a civilization. So as we go on, we'll learn more about the next leader that we're going to look at. I hope if you have any questions about Cleopatra, what I did was I just looked at her being born, and what was her session to power, what was her life like before, so that you kind of see a whole picture of Cleopatra, and then also see her downfall and see what happened after, where the dynasty ended, the Egyptian dynasty ended. Anyway, if you have any questions, just let me know, and then I can further come back and give you, I can research more to answer the questions that you have. I hope this was good. This is my first uh, uh, explanation or narration of one of the leaders that was powerful in the BCEs, and this was Cleopatra, and I chose a female so that for all the women out there can see that we're powerful. We just have to start understanding the power that we have. We have to understand the political systems and the processes that we have so that we can maintain that power, right? Anyway, until next series, I'm excited for what we're learning. I will choose another exciting leader. And until next time, have a good one.